We have a sense already that for many of us it was a pleasure and an honor to have known and worked with Abdul Aziz.
There's so much to say about who he was and what he did and what he meant to all of us. He was to me, like to many of you here, a life-changing teacher, a mentor, an activist, a troublemaker, a bridge builder, and a simple boy from the desert with Scandinavian good looks, as he used to say, who had a beautiful, rare soul, who lived what he taught.
Professor was the reason I actually joined the IPCR program as a student. When I was visiting colleges in DC, he was the first person to truly see me, hear me, and really talk with me. He had no recruitment script. After speaking with this tall, gentle man for about an hour, he hugged me. He hugged me as I was walking out of his door, of his office. Something I was not expecting from this accomplished person. But that 1 hour and that beautiful hug spoke volumes about the program he founded and directed at that time. And I really want to be part of that.
And when you say he saw me, that is how so many of us felt, is that this man, when he looked at you and was in your presence, he saw you in a way that others did not.
Someone like Professor Said, who was not selfish and gave everything he could to make sure his students thrived, was a quality that, again, I had never encountered in my life. And I have taken it on my own to do the best I can to help the way that he helped me. I've made it one of my priorities as I grow in my career and where I am, to make sure that you pass it on, because that's really one of the things he always wanted to do.
One of the things that he taught me was to respect every individual. And I spent a good portion of my career helping people who were less fortunate than me, respecting every individual, treating everyone fairly and kindly. And that is a great testament to the impression that he has had on me.
When I came to AU, I was looking at Islam as an answer, a solution to find peace and change paradigms, and to find Professor Abdul Aziz and to see that my Islam, my identity, and my culture could be part of the solution and not the problem was huge for me. It changed my life.
He contributed to bringing culture and ethnicity in IR2. He's among the generation who confronted racism and white hegemonic racist structure in academic institutions that opposed to consider the relevancy of other cultures or races. He brought peace and nonviolence to an academic and practitioner world of Washington, a word that is used more to nurture hegemonic power paradigm based on the assumption that the more threats and force you use, the higher your chance to win and establish order. He fought against that all his life. There are many other scholars and practitioners who also oppose these forces. But it takes great courage to do that gently, with love and compassion to all human beings, and with a shining smile. To do that, you need to be indeed a special person.
I met him when I was 17, looking to go to college. I'm from Syria. And you probably have heard me say this story. I barged into his office and I said, I'm from Syria, I'm Christian. Everybody tells me I can't change the world, but I want to. And he said, if someone like me from the desert can, so can you. And ironically, someone placed me as his work study because, like everybody else, I didn't have any money. I came on financial aid, but I came to AU because of him.
I always used to use a line from a John Denver song about my coming to AU, and that is coming home to a place he'd never been before. And I'd never been there, but my values and the work I wanted to do was so compatible with what Professor Said and Mohammed Abu Nimir, Mitch Hammer, and other people had developed at that time. Many values and many attitudes and skills that Abdul Aziz brought forward. I want to single out only one that the famous counseling psychologist Carl Rogers called unconditional positive regard. Christine spoke of how he would give dignity to all human beings. And the simpler term I would use is respect, such a high degree of respect that he had. And that led him as a manager to take a somewhat laissez-faire approach and put a lot of trust in colleagues and subordinates. In fact, it was universal and consistent, and there were points at which it was violated and he was taken advantage of. And he confided in me, Ron, he said, it's better to trust everyone and then deal with the odd exception.
I will say that the International Peace and Conflict Resolution Program is one of the preeminent programs in the world. And it is that almost exclusively because of Abdul Said's work. And we carry on his legacy and are very grateful to him for all he's done.
Dr. Abdul Aziz Said was an embodiment of living the word Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, merciful and compassionate. It's the words that Muslims say every day in their prayers. We say it, but Dr. Abdul Aziz lived it.
He has let us know that the very spirit of a human being, even without speaking, can resonate and impact people for the better, and have, and reverberate. So I ask that you leave with the knowledge of his legacy and his love in your heart.